So I'm curious. I think I'm trying to remember from my memory bank, but there's so much that was said about like your contribution to the creation of Krump, but I don't remember it being said from you, you know? And I
Right.
think it'd be really interesting
To talk
because,
about.
yeah, because like, you know, like people would say, like Mijo, like when you battled Spartan, I remember, you know, all Mijo is like the free side of Krump. And I remember, you know, Ches was mad at that because like, what? Like we're all free, you know? Like, what do you mean by like
Right.
the freedom of it? Which is true, you know?
But we all are free.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why it's just
People's
interesting.
interpretation is just funny as
Right. That you brought in the combos. Like Ches was more the material
I was
head.
definitely a part of that.
Yeah. Side story. I remember when me and Mijo like first hung out. It was in Germany. He already knows. I think I flew in a little bit later. I started labbing right away. He stopped my lab and just said, "So where did combos come from?" And I was like, "What?" And mind you, I'm like still barely new in the, you know, in like the traveling game and all that and the teaching workshops and stuff. And I was like, in my head, I was like, this isn't even important. Like, why are you quizzing me right now? You know, I'll do a combo. Like,
I 100 on your ass right, now. You sneaking.
yeah. So 181st in Broadway.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Cool. So then, yeah, and then it was funny. Yeah, Eyez said
long,
that.
But long.
Long.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that, or he asked that question in his workshop like hours later, and I just looked at Mijo like, But yeah, I just am curious on like what would you say was like your contribution to like the creation of Krump?
Damn. Man, you know.
And don't be humble. I'm not saying.
I've been thinking about shit that I was like thoroughly like in that living room, niggas having a conversation. Like breaks. That's all us transitions from clowning into that wobble. Train. Bump. This is whatever. Cannonball, back of the bus. Man. At this time, sinks was already a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I would think like I helped that type of shit and like buck ups. Like little conceptual ideas that allowed us to breathe a little bit outside of just the standard, but kind of have like a conceptual idea going, like combos, but it's not a combo. It's something else that's keeping me on pace. Or I don't know, man.
What about like the like more of like the bully side? Not really.
See,
like
that's so funny because that's what Krump is now. Like everybody has a demeanor that is like tough. So I wouldn't say, you know, I created that. Like there's a lot of niggas that would say the first time me seeing something done that was masculine and looked like it was coming from this hood was from Mijo. But that's just because I'm an athlete and a lot of niggas was trying to dance. I wasn't just trying to dance, nigga. I was just trying to prove that I could move. But like, of course I am trying to dance. I'm trying to get this clownish shit, but I'm pulling from something different. I'm pulling from sports versus at the time Ches was flashy as fuck. Like, so the strength was something that he was into later. But like I was kind of into that like now. That was like just something that I wanted to play with early. So textures of certain shit started to be kind of like something that I played with early. Force, speed change, burst of energy. Like, because I remember when I came back and Ches was like, bro, Krump What the fuck did this nigga say? Krump is back where it used to be.
What year was this?
This is like what? I came back like 07, 08 from school. I graduated 08, but I started to come back like fucking with niggas in his circle, like around that time. So there's a little gap of
Where'd you get the Mijo name for the people that don't know?
my boy Clive Haylap. He's my best friend. His family, his Belizean family, used to call me Mijo. And that shit just stuck. I was looking for a fucking name when we auditioned for Laylo. And he was there. He's the guy that drove me and Chaz to the audition. I was like, I don't have a name.
I could see it.
And I was stressing.
Yeah.
Fucking dramatic as fuck about something so small. And he was like, nigga, just name yourself Mijo. I was like, man, like Mijo the Clown, that shit's gonna be crazy. And now today,
that's great.
Dumbass name is still.
What about Street Bully? Did you name yourself that, or?
No, it was like me and the bros. Like Chaz kind of helped me find that character or alter ego, and the nigga just ran with the shit.
And then your newest one
is Normandy.
Normandy.
Yeah. That's me. That's self-proclaimed, trying to rekindle the laving thoughts of when I was in like on Normandy. So once again, that cusp of like leaving clowning and going into Krump. So all that old shit that I was just naming.
Where does the lane come from? Because Normandy is Avenue, correct?
Yeah.
So is there like a branch off of that you kind of?
I mean, well, I grew up on 109 Place in Normandy. So Place is another branch off of streets out here. So lane, it doesn't have like any like crazy significance. It was just like a term that I wanted to say outside of place or street.
Interesting. Yeah, because
What lane? Normandy Place.
No,
Place. Why'd you say? No, you're good. Place.
Normandy Place. It's funny as.
Let's go J Place. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's street. I was over that shit with my street code. I would say like a hop out type of ordeal. It was to peaches and cream. Y'all remember that?
That's right.
112.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peaches and cream. They had like a little crib walking segment to that, or clown walking, that we had to learn. It was that, and I believe another number we had to learn. We had to perform that, and then we had to freestyle. And if they wanted you to battle, you had to battle and shit like that.
Sheesh.
I didn't have to
All
battle.
in one day.
All in one day. I didn't have to battle. I did the freestyle.
Why not?
Huh?
Why didn't you have to battle?
Because they just didn't pick me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which is amazing.
Are you still mad?
About not getting picked? Hell no, it was like 70 people. Like, Chaz didn't get picked either. Like, it was just like, niggas didn't get picked.
That's crazy.
Now, Chaz had to battle Prissy when we were there, but that's not the same audition.
It's linking the stories.
She talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's real as fuck. But that was her audition, which was really funny. That shit was funny as fuck. Cause he, that's my sis, and I don't fuck with this nigga, but Chaz used to be putting his hands on motherfuckers, bro. He whipped their feet. That shit was funny.
Damn, I wish I could see that.
It was so live though. It's just because, niggas already had somewhat of the sauce, but Prissy whooped him as far as elegance because she just knew how to emote from a different place. So that's what made, and when I say whoop, back in the days, it's like what you could really highlight in yourself that made you special is typically how you're getting an ooh and an ah. You feel what I'm saying? So like, Chez had no elegance whatsoever that he wanted to present at the time, but he came from that world. But Prissy like was like, I'm in that shit. So her hip hop was cool, but then she started moving different. It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
That is crazy right there.
That's funny. Well, let's get to my favorite question is, so where do you guys and Daisy and girls see the current stage of Krump? As of right now.
I actually think if it's existing, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of shit I could complain about. But the fact that we exchange dollars in each other's hands for business, the fact that niggas share art, the fact that folks is out here creating, I can't really try to harp on the little shit, especially because I'm moving right now. Like, I got motion.
Right.
So, like, I'm really out of sight, out of mind. Like, the shit bothered me when I think about Krump. But on the other hand, I could definitely nitpick at myself. Bitch ass Chaz. Like, just leaders in our community. I could just nitpick at a bunch of shit. Yeah, even the spectators, like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's so many outsiders that's not really from the root of any of this. When I say root, like, you're not connected to none of the first, second, third generation niggas. And then you're not even connected to the niggas that's connected. So, like, all you other niggas that's like fifth, sixth, seventh, that's not doing any work, I just be wishing y'all could just help by being patient a little bit more. Or just saying the shit that's healthy. But we're in a time of just like picking sides or just saying what the fuck you want to say. That, like, all of it can just be talked about. Like, so the state of Krump is motion. Like, motherfuckers is leaving, going all over the place. But, like, there's a lot of little intricate shit that we could really sit here and have a 5-hour, 6-hour, 10-hour goddamn podcast. Because it's a bunch of young motherfuckers growing, trying to make something of themselves, and people think that they got the answers. When nobody really got the answers, right? Like, we all trying to figure it out. And we have, you know what I'm saying, niggas be out here pointing the finger. But my current state, I'm beefing with a nigga, and it's gonna be forever. And for some reason, me and this nigga beef sends waves in our community that other people get to moving off of. And that's neither one of our faults. We're just being who we are in our community. So I think, you know, we could be cognizant of that shit and not and now I'm talking about myself, you know, and not really voice what it is, but fuck that. And fuck you, Chaz. I can't wait for you to get this raw version. Like, it's forever up. Like, you have no loyalty. And when I think about this part of Krump, I think about you. You are the seed of spreading that non-loyalty, having ass, favoritism ass. If I like the nigga, I'm gonna move on that, opposed to moving what's at heart and what's visible through feeling. Use a bitch, bro. Like, use a bitch. And that's the reason why I'm not gonna quit. And that's why this is always gonna be a topic, because it ain't gonna be no resolving it. Niggas like you is a cancer, bro. And I didn't have the ability to feel that shit until late. And I'm thanking God that he allowed me to see you. So, besides our little beef, you know what I'm saying, that kind of sends the ripples through our community the way that it does, there's a lot of good shit that's happening. There's a bunch of good shit. Like, I'm here at the Beast Camp, nigga, where they provide Krump on all sorts of fucking levels. Raw podcasts like this, classes, nigga, battles, teaching experiences. Like, that's an entity that's in Krump. You got some new shit that's cracking off right now. What's that? What's the KCS?
KCS, yeah.
Niggas going, they throwing out $3,000 for niggas to devote some time and be good at the craft. Like EBS is still going. Like FCD has a media service that pumps out hella content. Like it's motion. Mm-hmm. It's so much motion in Krump. Like there's hella music that's out. Like focusing on this stupid shit. It's just what it is. It's just niggas being niggas. But there's a lot of good shit in this community. So I think the current state is gonna be what it is until like, you know, people devise a plan to like keep upping the state. Like, and then eventually it's gonna be a bunch of us that's millionaires. But right now they're just trying to hit the millie ball and be successful for a company that's doing that through Krump or through another entity. But you know, people are trying to be mentally sane and wealthy at the same time. So I think the financial situation is what niggas is trying to like figure out right now at Krump. But that's gonna happen. And if it happens through art or through collaboration of niggas like getting businesses, and it's gonna happen. So right now I think that is like the main goal. Other than that, the talent is just doing what the talent do. It always get better.
What's like one or maybe two things that you feel like the movement like needs right now?
I seriously think we need like a Congress meeting where people don't get together to dance. There's 3 days of just talking. Talking about things that we think can preserve this culture that is important, right? The history to me is important. It's the only reason why a nigga like me is even doing Krump, just to let niggas know, like, my people died early. And I'm talking about motherfuckers, my family, my father, both my brothers died early. So I was always the type of nigga that said, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna make my name last. Like, this is why I try so hard in whatever I'm doing, bro. So my history matters, and my history is connected to other people that I care about, and then their history matters to them as well. So like, I think a day to history, like we're all trying to gather the right history right now, right? And then businesses, like the businesses that's in this movement, I think forming a network that is like a little bit more solid than what it is, something should be dedicated to like that. And then maybe like, I don't know, like treating this big homie, little bit homie shit a little bit with a little bit more care. And care is just giving time to it. And then niggas could develop like what we're saying and what we're doing, but like this exists, which is somewhat of a brotherhood, which reminds me of like frat shit. And nigga, the frat is organized, bro. And the frat is built off of friendship. Niggas is organized in friendship, for people that don't understand this. So there's levels to everything in life, my nigga. So the shit that we could be doing with this little big homie shit is a lot more detailed, but we're not even opening a give a fuck. We keep giving a fuck about dance. I don't know. I think that just felt like a good exit.
Yeah, no.
My bad.
No, you're good. No.
I looked over to the bro like...
I looked over to Mac.
You know, become who I became in Krump is just crazy. Like the evolution for real. Like, it's really culture. Like, clowning in Krump is really, like, I don't even know where... Well, I guess I do a little bit, but like the beef aspect as far as like now, like, I don't know. To me, that it doesn't really exist. Like, because it's so like just cross-cultured in nature. I feel like to truly understand, like to talk about essence, like you really do gotta know about clowning. Like you really have to understand what was going on here, because it was multiple groups. Like the way that we have fams now, like the group aspect was highlighted in clown dancing, and you literally seen it like Sunday nights on Crenshaw Boulevard while they out there with the lowriders and all that. You see clowns actively dancing on that wall down there. Like that was a thing, being at Venice Beach, being at Club Clowning, being at the Soda Pop, like all of these iconic. You remember the 212?
Coca-Cola 212, yeah.
This was
Patriotic call.
yes. Like
What?
these is like teen club nights, like
Do you hear her?
going.
Teen.
Yeah,
We had spots.
Yeah.
Clearly, it was the movement was so. It was so different.
yeah, it was so lit. Like hopping out at a red light in your truck from whatever group you was in, like even if you was like the weakest clown group, which
Do you hear?
my group started off weakest,
The weekend. I don't even care.
but like
Imagine how many people was doing it, bro. In Krump, niggas be feeling like you gotta be good. Like, what? Nigga, I'm just here to dance, bro. And you not even nice anyway. Like, why you acting like that? Like, it'd be crazy, just the energy. When we came in, it was so opening. Like, yes, we want you to be good eventually, but we want you doing this shit. Like, bro.
it was so lit because too, like I think clowning also had like a partying aspect to it. Like you would go to the academy, and of course Tommy had like the battle nights, but then it's just dancing, like really being in the scene, and then like everybody kind of had their place too, like Tommy and High Class, like that show, like the who's the clowning, and then like this is who you looking at as the blueprint of what you want to get like with your group. And then don't talk about battle zone, like that was
A whole nother day.
like that's the Grammys. Like
Oh my God. It was Six Flags for us. It was crazy. It was, nah.
the hop out is really like that's a thing. Like I feel like we need like just a little docu-series on that. The hop out, like
Unless you done brew up a new podcast to hop out. Where you get nothing but clowning and crunk.
nah, yeah, it's
I just came up with a tag and everything.
and you see, and that's how stuff is started, like just in what we do. Like we could just talk about stuff. Like I think the idea about coming together for 3 days is amazing, just to talk, because there's so much information. Like even today when I'm teaching like a Krump class, I feel like it's not enough time to really cover, because it's just so much to the dance. Like it's so much depth and so many layers. So like coming together to just talk about everything.
I think it's severely important if we're trying to preserve this culture. If people are really trying to like pass the right history down and make people lives matter in this story, I think that will be important. And I feel like that's important, folks. So hopefully we get there.
Yeah, how important do
I
you
think it's severely important if we're trying to preserve this culture. If people are really trying to like pass the right history down and make people lives matter in this story, I think that will be important. And I feel like that's important, folks. So hopefully we get there.
Yeah, how important do you guys think of like learning all of this, like history and also movement wise, like learning a little bit of clowning and where it comes from with like Krump? Like how important do you guys think? Like if someone is day one in Krump, like would you how important do you think that is? Like do you also think that was like a missing part of like people coming into Krump probably like 5 years ago, and then with what people are kind of saying that like Krump lost its like bounce or lost something, you know, that's always something that's said. Do you think it's because the full history, even movement wise, wasn't really explored? It just started with this like Krump. Do you think like
I think in order to be Krump, you gotta have the experience that that person had. Right? So if Chaz, say if it was nobody else and it was just Chaz, what was your experience, Chaz? Did you have a long period of time of clown dancing before you made this up? Yes. Then shut the fuck up first. Niggas go have this experience. So now you can be caught up in your vibration as far as this dance enough to then receive whatever new shit that this man is about to teach you. Right? Or because then it's easier for you to kind of understand and vibe off of certain things. I just think.
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't want to. Yeah, anyway. Like, I can just think of 100 analogies where.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem right that you'll tell me to skip that part.
Right.
Like, nigga, I want your juice, nigga.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree with that because right now the talk in Krump is essence, and you can see it on our true OG. Like, it's just a certain way that we swag stuff. Like, if you go back and watch his battle against Ruin,
I beat you, Ruin. Bad.
it's just like
Sorry.
it's a certain way in Mijo's approach to how he moves, how he thinks. Like, it's just a certain, like, if you know type of thing. But I feel like it comes from just that whole, like you said, that experience. Like, just the way he delivers certain stuff. And I think people are after that now because they've gotten, you know, all the new wave stuff. Like, I think a lot of people have now like caught up to just looking super clean in a certain way, and the hits and the isolation and all of that shit. But it's like the dancing part, like just a certain groove, and like it's just certain.
I've been teaching that my workshops and breaks. No two-step.
Oh yeah, I've been teaching some clown stuff too. Just because, it puts you in that space of that experience. Like,
I've been teaching clown dancing, and y'all was talking about me when I first was doing it.
That's facts.
You freaks, man. Y'all are. I'm literally trying to give you my experience, and y'all like this nigga ain't giving this sauce.
Hey, I was one for the first workshop. It was in Vegas after the arcs. And I remember that's when I first saw day ones. I saw the whip.
Niggas like, what the fuck is
all
this,
these
man?
moves. I was like,
Why are you important to give you niggas the culture?
wobble.
yeah, I think that's necessary in life too. I think we get kind of like taught to kind of like stray away from our cultures, like even in ethnicity or like different walks of life. Like, wherever you are, you kind of adapt to where you at. And you might not necessarily, unless you got people in your family that make sure, like, nah, you gonna know your history, you gonna know where you came from. Like, you kind of just, you know, people tend to be followers, so they
Niggas
just
came from Chaz.
So, I mean, with that being a major, you know,
Niggas like,
Way.
fuck the whip.
Yeah.
Fuck the bangs.
yeah,
It's his bang.
Yeah.
There was no chest bang before. This nigga is crazy, bro.
yeah. These were facts.
Main focus.
11
No,
years
that's
old,
crazy.
3 a.m. in August. It's crazy. Diabolical work.
I remember one story that Mijo told me. It was at the 818, and I'm just saying this because for the people that's watching, especially if you're interested in Krump, that answer is literally what helped me like propel and go like very far. Because like you want to experience your teacher's experience and whoever. So I remember Mijo was telling me like one of his first memories of Chez was like it was a play where he had a big trench coat and his head was like out, and he was just narrating what he was doing. And from there, it made sense of why Ches had this advantage over the character part, which was acting, you know, because they were part of like
a really good theatrical program at Washington Preparatory High School. You could go look up this dude, this director named Mark Switten. He writes right now for Tyler Perry a lot of this shit. So like, yeah, Ches had that talent early,
for sure,
or at least somebody honing in on him having this talent to emote, because he was very creative, bro.
Yeah.
Which probably hints to himself this essence that he probably had ever since he was fucking 7 or 11. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't know. That nigga ain't never told me this. That's another reason why I'm mad at that Ches. I've been your friend for so long. You wait and tell me about Krump, nigga, when I'm thinking we accidentally felt like you've been knowing this shit the whole time, bro. Like, tell me that you know the dance, nigga, so we could be better than niggas. You wait so long. You make me go through this very gruesome ass process of being vulnerable. You're like the worst Mr. Miyagi on fucking earth. If you had this shit the whole time, bro.
If. Comment down below. Do you believe it was made at 11 a.m.? No. It's not 11 a.m. 3 a.m. At 11 years old.
Like, she's bothered. Little stuff like that will, you know, mess up a lot of us. Like, Ches, you waited though. Why aren't you waiting? That's the most irritating part. It's not the fact that you made it up. Like, you did. Why you wait, my nigga? Why you wait?
I didn't know that y'all was a part of a program.
A theatrical program when I first met him. I mean, we all took Mr. Swinton's class, and then a lot of us became in his plays, and that's when I started to really see this nigga. Cause I'm like, I was working. I did a lot of stage production and shit in high school. A lot of it, lighting, and all type of shit.
That's good.
But yeah, seeing this dude was incredible. I was like, who the fuck? And then him clowning at the time was even crazy. I was like, this nigga clown dance different for sure. So maybe that's the essence that he's talking about. I think he had a new pastor pray over him, and the pastor told him that you've been having Krump, nigga, since you 11. We still on your shit, boy.
All right, last question. I think we're doing good on time. I think last question is using our imagination and wishful thinking and prayers. Where do you see Krump going in the future, or where would you like it to be in the future?
You want to do that first, or let me go?
You could just open discussion it. I think it could be a little more mainstream, and I don't necessarily mean like
exploitation.
Yeah, like commercialized, watered down, but just like more present amongst people that aren't necessarily, you know, prevalent in what we have right now. Because I feel like we're the biggest underground thing happening. It's crazy that we exist like literally on every continent, I think, except for Antarctica. And yeah, like people aren't aware that it's still around, that Krump wasn't just like this trendy thing of the early 2000s. Like it's literally been standing the test of time and growing and getting better and just like...
Which I think we don't want y'all to know. Because we're going to figure it out ourselves, and then we're going to get rich on y'all. Exactly what's gonna happen. So I think there's a reason why a lot of people sleep. That's the reason why a lot of us had the opportunity to get up into the industry and still work. Once I worked ever since it was like 8 years ago, I was just let y'all know as far as Krumpers. And it's been hard. I'm not saying it's not hard.
Yeah.
But I've consistently booked something every year for the last year.
That's right.
That was a lit.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to become something crazy. This is what I think in the future.
Super facts.
It's going to be monstrous. It's just the way that Americans do it. We're just better than y'all.
I do have one fun question for Mijo. Top 5 favorite Krumpers. Go.
Right now? Top 5 right now?
First, yeah, we could do right now.
Okay.
Next time it'll be all time.
Okay. All right.
And it don't gotta be in order too, just like
Proof.
that's one.
5. Can I still call it nigga that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruiser, yeah.
Bruiser. Sorry. Beast.
He just saying that because I mean. Just
1K.
Hey! I can't wait to tell him that.
Dave.
Dave? Dope. Damn, I got one more fun question, but it might be long. So, did you really beat Todd Eyez at one point? Like I said, we hear all these things, but not from you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, did you really beat Todd Eyez back then
I just recently lost to Tight Eyes
at that movie joint?
at the movie shit.
But back then,
And just to let y'all
He said,
niggas
"What?"
know, he didn't kill me every round. I won the first 2 rounds out the gate, and then he won 3. I'm just letting niggas understand, and I wasn't as familiar as I am now. But I have had a moment where I dropped some shit that I wasn't supposed to be dropping because it was for a battle. And I dropped it on the homie. And niggas and the homies left it alone. They left whatever dance situation we was doing, so niggas would say a kill off. They left the situation alone. That's how drastic whatever I dropped landed. That it was over.
damn, where did this happen?
This was right in front of Mama Toon House, where we used to session all the time. It was just the timing, though. I think I have a decent amount of understanding of timing. My slow shit be landing on shit at times. But I don't think that was like that's, a kill off is like a Hail Mary. Or like a big game touchdown. Or, a big game position for a field goal. Or a last second shot. That's not really saying that you're better than a nigga. I do not think that I'm better than Chaz. I don't even have that feeling in my body to want to give a fuck about that. But Chaz, you're gonna have to deal with me, buddy. I'm done.
We're gonna do this again because this was super lit. Thank you to Mijo, Daisy, Rev behind the camera doing